we don't see often enough, in my opinion. And I think it's pretty cool that it happens in this series. So Liquid is definitely giving them the respect and saying, we know what you're trying to do, and we are going to push you out of your comfort zone.
Speaking of comfort zone, let's go to BOE and see if we can have our two teams fight over possible picks. Cassia has been one that we've been seeing pretty often on this battleground. Her Q build has become very prevalent as of late.
Yeah. Liquid has banned on this map so far Genji, Abathar, and Malfurion. And normally one of their go-to bans is Abathar, but that's more so the case when they find themselves in the second position. So right now they are first pick, so they ban out Genji, but Abathar is banned against them. You can pretty safely assume that Team Liquid would have jumped on the opportunity to take the hero themselves, but in this case, both of them are banned out.
Hanzo for the first pick. Nurok going to be showing us those Dragon Arrows right away. Trick Esport. No Genji up and available. Typically, if he is available, they'll go straight into it because Make is devastating on that character. Instead, we get Tracer and Malfurion, the dynamic duo that Dignitas has showcased.
Yeah, Tracer, as we said, is mainly a lethal weapon in the hands of Team Dignitas. As we already stated, most of the other teams are struggling a lot to get victories with her. And one of the teams that hasn't played her at all is Tricked. This is the first time that they are showcasing that Tracer play.
So it'll be Make on that Tracer?
Yeah.
Okay, so Make going to be showing off his Tracer. It's the same ability that's had on Genji in the past, and I'm excited to see it. Can he get in the back line and kill the Hanzo? It's going to be a little bit more difficult now, as we have Team Liquid opening up with their Uther and Tyrael. Saving grace here between Sanification and Divine Shield will make it hard for Tracer to get that dive.
Yeah, Tyrael already, as we said before, he is a hero that is going to get a lot more play this weekend. The changes, the rework that came in definitely strengthened him even more, and teams can now capitalize more on the advantages that he already brought to the table. I would expect Raymond to be banned out. Tricked is already hovering him, but he's really the hero that you don't want Liquid to run when they already have Uther and Tyrael. Both of them have great synergy at this point with Greymane, so it doesn't really come as a surprise that Trick bans him out. Either a ban or pick on their part would have been the obvious one. You don't want to give Greymane over to the base foundation that Liquid built already.
Is there any considerations for a support ban here? With Trick having Malfurion and Tracer, we've seen double support on BOE. It's one that a lot of teams say it's strong on this battleground. Would a support hover be a bad idea here?
I would not use my ban for support. There's still a chance that Trick goes into a double support, definitely. As you said, Battlefield of Eternity is the map where we've seen the most double support, until last weekend hit, where all of a sudden we have the combo with Tassadar and Hanzo all over the place. So, if anything, I could see that Trick tries to pick Tassadar away from Team Liquid and plays Tassadar. So if you want to ban a support, then it would be Tassadar. But it's a support that Team Liquid wants as well.
Yeah.
They would love to play that. I'm pretty sure that with Tyrael, Uther, and Hanzo, they already have a great setup. But if they can stack an extra shield on Hanzo, I don't think they would turn that away.
Well, the Nubrek's been banned out in the insta-pickup into Li Ming and Blaze.
Yeah, Tricked is 3-0 with Blaze right now. They played 3 games with him, won every single one of them, so this is going to be the 4th one. Alex is staying strong with Blaze, and that answers Hazop's question in the interview as well, as he was saying, well, they really Alex likes to do that. He finds that hero and he just one-tricks him until they stop having success with it.
Yeah.
So Hazop's openly admitting that maybe they needed to look into this and adapt. So I want to see how they adapt it, because, he said it outright. This could be a problem for us, since Blaze isn't played enough in scrims that we can practice against him to an extent that Trick might throw him against us.
Yeah.
So we need to come up with some kind of game plan how we can defeat that and how we react if they still pick it. So now we're going to see what that is.
Our first point of ever seeing Alex Progi start to struggle on that Blaze was against that Nova composition on Volskaya Foundry. They were able to pull it out, but they were worried. Talking to Rimmer, he mentioned that game in particular where they found spots where Blaze isn't as effective. Let's see if Team Liquid will have their own answer themselves, as Lunara and Arthas comes in for the 4th and 5th pick. So double warrior, tight control here for Team Liquid, and hard engage with sustain poke between Hanzo and Lunara.
There's also an interesting aspect for me now, because I was thinking about, as you said, double support on this map is strong. We've seen a lot of compositions last week where Uther, Hanzo, and Tassadar were highly prioritized by a lot of teams. Started off in North America, and the European teams at the forefront of that, Zealots, started to adapt that as well and had great success with it too. So now you have no Tassadar picked, but you have the new Tyrael. And the new Tyrael allows you to get stronger shields for your team. So in this setup, is it just simply because they don't want to have Tassadar, or do they already say, listen, we have Tyrael in the mix, him with a support is enough to keep Hanzo in a safe space, and then we can add a second damage dealer just so that we have more poke. We have also Lunara against the Immortal. We can even go into Thornwood Vines if we have to and just poke from a distance. Then of course we need to be careful about Tracer. But there's definitely a couple of thought processes that we can pay attention to. If Tassadar is now still going to be picked with a Hanzo composition, if there is a Tyrael in the comp as well. So in this case we don't have that, but it's something to pay attention to.
We'll keep an eye out for that, as we will have 3 days of HGC coming in. There is a good chance that in scrims, Tassadar Hanzo was played pretty often, and maybe they found some different weaknesses that we haven't seen yet with the Tassadar. Remember, he is pretty weak and can be jumped on pretty quickly if you have the mobility.
Yeah, Hanzo Tassadar was still played in scrims for sure. Like,
yeah.
We've seen it last weekend. It's strong. Teams still play around that. It depends on which map you do it as well. But yeah, we have cool comps coming in for our first map. And I'm excited for this one. This should be a great series. No matter how it ends, even if it's a 3-0 one way or another, it's going to tell us a lot about the power levels in HGC Europe. So I'm really excited for this best of 5.
Let's get the party started. Game number 1, Team Liquid facing off against Tricked Esports. Can Team Liquid continue to succeed, or will Tricked Esports bring out the tricks?
Starting our series off on Battlefield of Eternity, we have to the left side, Tricked Esports, with Leeming, played by Crosby, Macke on Tracer, Garan Paquete on Malfurion, Remaballer on Murden, and Alex the Progi getting tricked on Blaze.
On the right side, in the red, Team Liquid. Sport Billy playing Tyrael, Hasawab's Lenara, Nurok playing Hanzo, Splendor on Uther, and Eternal playing Arthas.
The comp that Team Liquid plays is already right down their comfort zone. They really love to play these heroes, especially when we're looking at the support side. They play now their 5th game on Uther, and so far they are undefeated. Whenever they get Uther, they win the game. And the same is also true, by the way, for Arthas. They're 5-0 on Arthas, so a lot of these picks that they currently have are extremely comfortable picks for them, where they have a great win ratio too. So I'm excited for this. And I have to correct myself. I was
the Uther Leeming lost, right?
They have a 6-1 on Uther.
Yeah.
So and a 2-2 on Arthas. My apologies, I slipped into the wrong company.
Oh, that's all good.
But still on Uther, 6-1. Very solid setup.
Quite devastating. Make looking to be devastating himself as he moves in for some damage on Hasselhoff. Hasselhoff does not care. Turns around, brings up the auto attack, knowing he has shields, and Tracer has to back and escape to a different route, having to tap the well. She's heading topside to put some damage on Arthas.
Yeah, and when we talk about Blaze, Adrenaline Stim Pack taken once again, so the extra attack speed and the movement speed, which really helps also to get away on the solo lane if you get ganked by your opponent. But Alex is already putting in the work here. And this is something that I'm excited about. I want to see if he's going to be the one that really lights things up here, because he had a fantastic weekend last week with Blaze. And Liquid already said, might become a bit of a problem for us. So Alex has to prove himself here in game 1.
Now Tracer is rotating between top and bottom. She was scattered by a wisp, but Team Liquid is making a play for these mercenaries on the bottom side as they were trying to offset Make's pressure on the top. But they turn around, they look at Make. He's low, final auto comes in from Hasselhoff, and Team Liquid gets a kill and takes a mercenary camp.
Yeah, really well done by them. And for a moment, I was really afraid for Remaballer as well. Hasselhoff couldn't really rotate in and try and push damage in. He would have opened himself up to be a bit too far out of position into an attack. But yeah, well done by them. Getting the first kill here, getting the camp. They can start pushing it in. At the top lane, we see also Eternal doing fairly well. And this is a cool battle. Eternal going up against Alex, but you can tell how Blaze is having a big impact on that lane. Alex also had the advantage of Tracer rotating over earlier, so there's a lot of pressure on Eternal, and it's reflected in his low mana pool.
And the turret's being low. The second one getting focused down, going down to level 4. Team Liquid lightly ahead in experience thanks to their kill and the pressure they put on the bottom. We do have mercenary camps up and available, and both teams will rotate over to grab those and set them up. Typically seeing that around 2 minutes and 15 to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This allows for you to offset and push your opponents in where you can. Now, Tricked Esport, will they be able to hold off Team Liquid while Li Ming brings in the poke on the Shrine face here?
Yeah, we're going to find that out in a second. The problem for Team Liquid is also, once that there start kills coming in, the reset potential that we have through Li Ming is something that I'm really a bit afraid of. And again, Tricked has also a composition that is right down their alley. When we look at their Malfurion setup, they're 2-0 with Malfurion. They have currently a track record of 2-0 with Muradin. They haven't lost a game with Blaze yet either. And they also haven't lost a game with Li Ming yet. They're currently 3-0 with her. So this is really the core setup of heroes where they say, okay, this is us. With those heroes, you are going to struggle, and these are just best in slot heroes for these guys. So this first map is going to determine a lot. Both of the teams are very confident in their hero picks. I feel both of them walked away with the draft where they said, okay, this is what we wanted. We're totally happy with this. And it's going to really show us, or give us a first idea how this best of 5 is going to go. Look at Eternal here with that setup and that flank.
Sport Billy getting hit with the pulse bomb. Tricked is ahead in the Immortal phase, so Team Liquid had to come over and defend. Lenara was clearing up bottom, which has allowed Trick Esports to open up some damage on Team Liquid, but they hold. They continue to hold the defense. Make up on this top trying to grab the attention of Team Liquid members. That way Crosby on the side can get the poke in, and he gets one.
Yeah, Rema jumping out here, but the rest is moving for the Immortal immediately, forcing also Nurov back on Hanzo, trying to defend. Tricked still way ahead when it comes to the poke game here, but has it with good damage against Make. But there is still Grand Paquette, and he heals all of this up. Alex comes in, jet propulsion from the back. Muradin trying to flank in too. Sport Billy is low, about to die, and he goes down.
Get the kill here. Rimmer low, gonna get hit with a Tyrael trait, but he does survive. Tricked Esport will get the first Immortal of the game. This will become a little bit easier for Team Liquid when 7 hits. They are moving into the Scatter Arrow build at 4 and presumably 7, which will make it easier for Team Liquid to race. Now for them, it's all about defense. Maybe they lose some damage on this fort, but they'll be looking towards the next Immortal to get a win.
And they're moving to the top with 4 with the Immortal now. Down to the bot lane, Alex still going up against Eternal, Blaze versus Arthurs, but up here to the top, the level 7 talent that we have for Trick gives them a slight lead, just as Team Liquid is now also picking up the next talent. And this is going to mean 1 fort. This is going to fall. They're going to poke a little bit more here, make sure that the Immortal is not easily defeated by Liquid. But that is one of the main structures already taken out. Now they can start a rotation to the bot lane to pressure Arthurs even more and break through the wall.
And Trick gets a big boost in experience. About 8.5 to the 7.5 of Team Liquid, a full level ahead. Hoping, as you mentioned, to get more on the fort here. Mostly we're going to get is the well. We should have Team Liquid respawn pretty quickly, but the well going down makes it much easier for them to contest the mercenary camps.
And at this point, Tracer ult does not connect. Sport Billy goes in. They want Make. Don't get him. Splendor walking in, but he only gets the stun against Blaze, and Alex still had jet propulsion up. Could move out of harm's way with it. Tricked Esports walks away with the lead in experience. Kills dead even still, but this is the fight for the camp, and Liquid doesn't really seem willing to take it.
Yeah, they should give this up, especially with Muradin sharking around. They haven't spotted him, meaning they have no idea where he's at. Finally, Rimmer jumps in, goes for the Stormbolt, will land it on Lenara. Instantly cleanse. Good call there by Splendor.
Yeah,
keeping Lenara alive.
That cleanse was absolutely crucial because they did a really good job stacking up Jet Propulsion Stun and also Stormbolt. So Rema led with Stormbolt, making it an easy target for Alex to just rush in with Blaze. But thanks to the cleanse, Lunara survived. So that was a really nice trap from Trick, but the support player on the side of Team Liquid definitely shut that down very, very quickly.
Well, Trick has 5, trolling around this fort. Stormbolt comes out and misses, but Trick can now step up thanks to Muradin being in the front and taking that damage. Puts it down to about half health. Team Liquid holding on pretty well. Ooh, but a bomb comes in. Splendor gets the last second heal to keep Hasu alive.
That was a really close call. Sport really helping out with the shield as well. But the main reason why this is such a massive play down here to the bot lane is because we have Arthurs the entire time all the way up at the top. Trick doesn't feel the need to move top lane because the wave is not pressured into their towers yet. So they just 5-man the bot lane, try to get the fort, and they do, which allows them to get even closer to level 10 right now. Liquid is trying to find experience so they get their own heroic abilities.
Tricked. Postured on the side of the Immortal. They get aggressive on the Immortal on the top side. Alex approaching and Gremaket are trying to buy some time around this mercenary area with Make and Crosby working on the Immortal. They don't have to do anything too crazy. Alex Approach with 10 here just holds it.
There is no reason why they should give this up. They have 10. Liquid cannot contest it. So I really like that they just postured around at the start and then committed to it. So that was a great choice on their part, invading the camp, taking it away from Liquid, and now they still have a time window where they will win the halftime show. And just around that time, Liquid should be able to get enough experience through the bottom lane to maybe prevent the Verse and force a fight here. But Tricked is already taking their own camp, which is going to give them a bit more pressure on that bottom lane.
Yep, and that'll eventually pull someone back from Team Liquid. Tricked opened up with a Pulse Bomb straight onto the Immortals, and with them being aggressive positions, our teams will race, and Tricked Esport will win the second Immortal of the game. Team Liquid just lagging behind.
Yeah, Liquid had to race. They couldn't defend. They needed to race because they did not have 10. It just came in, but it was too late. With a level 10 ability, I'm pretty sure they would have tried to defend and see if they can get a kill before they start focusing on the opponent's Immortal and dropping the shield. But they were not in a position where that would be, where there was a valid option. Nurok actually missing the trade a little bit and now barely getting out. But that was a clutch call here. That could have been a kill.
Yeah, it certainly could there. The wave of force preventing him from jumping over with his natural agility.
Yeah.
Here's the Immortal pushing on the bottom with the Night Camp, and Tricked Esport is doing a pincer maneuver. Team Liquid has to decide which keep wall do we want to get rid of. They are now splitting their resources, but Trick should be able to identify this pretty soon and start pushing top.
This is one of the things that Trick improved immensely compared to last year. Their overall macro calls are so much better now in 2018, and I really like it. And as you said, there's a big push at the bot lane because it's not only the Immortal, it's an Immortal plus the camp. So they have to do something here. And this is 2 walls that Team Liquid now lost, so both of the keeps are exposed. Tricked has an entire level lead. They can easily move back. They don't risk anything here. They move back, take another camp, they paint the map blue, and they run with the advantage they have. And of course, in an ideal world, they would be able to get their level 13 talent and prevent Liquid from picking up their own as the next Immortal comes online. If that happens, Liquid is very, very likely to lose a keep.
Well, we're keeping an eye on Rimmer right now. Not doing much in terms of forcing fights, but doing the world a service here as he continues to anchor and allow Tricked Esport to realize where exactly Team Liquid is. Team Liquid had no flank setup whatsoever, so they take the Smurf camp and they push in the top to head in for a keep. Get some damage on it already, and that's going to be a great little maneuver here from Tricked Esport, but they will have to pull away because Team Liquid has done their own maneuver in chess by grabbing Mercenaries on the bottom.
I also want to highlight that we have Bunker taken as the level 10 talent for Blaze, and that's noteworthy because every single time we've seen Blaze played by Alex so far, he went into combustion. But the extra armor around these poke battles and also with sieging up is something that definitely helps him here. But it's definitely cool to see Alex adapt to the situation and not just completely tunnel visioning on a single build that he has.
Team Liquid almost catches Rimmer. He's able to hop away. With an Immortal phase about to spawn, there it is, 30 seconds. Team Liquid will not have 13.
Yep.
Constantly fighting, 1 level behind. It's making it much difficult for them to move in and grab their own.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem for them. And they are willing to fight here right now. Bunker is already picked though. There's the armor. They're trying to get a kill. Move in. 1 stun. Cleanse comes out. And therefore, the Stormbolt doesn't connect. But we are still seeing the fight. And this is the talent advantage that Tricked has. Team Liquid needs to be careful here. Lunara staying in the back, not exposing herself. And we talked a bit about Tyrael, by the way. Justice for All on level 1, that hasn't changed. The most important talent in Tyrael's build on the pro level right now. But with this setup at this point, we now have Swift Retribution taken as the level 7 talent. So the added attack speed that we now see to help out Lunara, to help out Hanzo, and also, of course, to an extent Arthur. So super important here, these adaptations that we are seeing in builds depending on your team's composition.
Team Liquid actually gets a pretty good trade there. They're able to grab half the damage on the Immortal and get towards that halftime show, and they're an inkling away from the level 13 themselves, so they position aggressively on their Immortal to play defense. It's actually a good sign for them here. If they can get that 13, they can open a fight.
Yeah, but it's going to be a bit difficult since they need to split someone down to the bot lane, and that's Nara. And immediately we have the opponent's team moving in. Bunker being chosen. Alex got stunned by the Immortal here for a second, and they are just blasting this away, doing a really good job with this, just poking for free for a long time. And that puts Team Liquid on a very low hit point count on the Immortal now, so they're trying to race. But Tricked should be able to force a fight on that terms here.
Yep, Rimmer comes in on the left, drops the Stormbolt, Make as well, harassing Arthas where he can. 13 finally connects here with Team Liquid. Should be getting that Holy Ground, and we're also getting the level 13 upgrade here for Lunara, so she's been putting out a lot of damage when targets are slowed.
Stormbolt into Jet Propulsion. This is something that we have to wait for because Tricked is trying to set that up and get a kill here. Already in the back, Make needs to be careful. Good hits with the Thornwood Vines by Hazorps as we see Team Liquid defending, but their own Immortal is still still incredibly low. They need to be careful here. There's only 4,000 hit points left. They come in from the side, flanking a bit. Norok with good pressure, but it allows also Trick to set something up potentially on the left side. Still, both teams here looking for a position and an opening.
Maka has tapped. Goes in, looking at a Thermal. Howling Blast has not come out yet. Sport Billy with the Holy Ground to keep away the tanks. Telex Proji can't move in. The poke constantly from up top. Crosby just landing some mortal. Only 2,000 health left.
Yeah, really good hits here from Liming. Very well done by Crosby. And Maki comes in again, dances around, gets a few shots in, uses the pulse bomb, and just claims it. Well done here. I really like that he committed to it and just said, okay, guys, whatever we do, let's get this one. Then we can push with a 5-man, and we can try and get the first keep here and get an advantage. So Tricked is doing very well. It's a really strategical game from both sides. Only 2 kills so far, but I really, really enjoy it. Good play from Tricked, and Liquid always forcing their way back into the game and opening up opportunities. But they still need to get kills, and this is now going to be very difficult for them as the Immortal approaches the keep.
That's right. The third Immortal moving straight to the keep. The second Immortal allowed Trick Esport to open up the gates on both sides of the map here. So they contest on the bottom with the Immortal, all 5 pushing in, heading straight forward, working on getting that pulse up from Make, but the Immortal shells away on the keeps, going down to half health. Team Liquid trying to defend, but they're not going to be able to hold this keep.
No, they won't. Bunker is still up. That's another tool that they can use, and the keep is down, and that's the immediate cue for Trick to move away. Arrow misses, and that was the engage that they were hoping to get, but they didn't. The Howling Blast connects on the other side, but now we're having once again Blaze with the opportunity to go for the bunker whenever he wants to. Holy Ground, trying to isolate them. Alex, very patient here, dropping the oil spill. Sanctification is already out, but Alex is once again dodging the Howling Blast really nicely. Sport Billy is nearly down, but able to escape, at least for now. Splendor also moving out. Tricked is happy with the situation. They're absolutely willing to walk away here. They got the keep. That's all they wanted at this point, and they have once again claimed a significant lead in experience that will get them level 16 first.
Such clever use of the bunker, setting himself up to look like he could get hit by a Howling Blast, going back in. That allowed him to fully disengage. And Arthas at that point, I mean, you either hit it or you don't, right? Like, it's not his fault. It's just great play there from Alex Aproji. And 16 right around the corner. Tricked Esports feeling very comfortable with Catapults pushing in. Mercenaries on the bottom lane. They are looking deadly.
As Hazov said, they are going to try and find a way to combat Alex's Blaze if Alex still focuses the hero that highly. And I'm personally wondering if at some point in this series, if Alex continues to give value with Blaze to his team, if Team Liquid feels forced to ban him out.
And then Zool comes out.
Yeah, then we're going to see roaming Zool again by Alex.
Team Liquid has some good news here. They are a level behind, but they're getting towards 16. There is no Immortal spawn quite yet. If they're able to soak their lanes, which will be pushing in on the bottom side as well as the top, they'll be able to grab that 16. But Tricked fires away, keep them pinned in their base.
Yeah, Tricked is putting really a lot of pressure on. And I really like this. Every single time they have a lead in talents, they start to become a lot more aggressive. And even if they're close to a lead, as we saw earlier, they start to posture around keeps to put some pressure on. But now that the Immortal is appearing on the map, they grab camps and they will move in to get an advantage again. And Team Liquid, from the get-go, ever since all of this happened, ever since Tricked has started to take this lead in experience, has found themselves on the back foot when these situations occur. So they have to, again, fight in a very uncomfortable position for them. A talent down, and Tricked is willing to get the most out of this advantage. They're posturing very aggressively around the Immortal, but time is also working in their favor because of Catapults pushing their bot lane and a camp pushing the top lane.
And I like that Rimmer constantly buying more time too. He's always on the side, sharking around, letting Team Liquid think maybe they can get a pick, and then just hops away every time an engage comes out. And that buys a good 2 to 3 more seconds for Li Ming to get another combo in, or Tracer to jump on the Immortal.
Exactly. Liquid doesn't have any interrupts. If they had an ETC in this setup, or if they had a wave of force on the side of Li Ming, they could stop Muradin, but they can't right now. So Rema knows that as long as he has the cooldown ready, he's always going to be safe here. The only tool that can be used from Team Liquid's side, and that's going to be difficult to pull off, is Sport Billy trying to trap him with a Holy Ground.
Speaking of Sport Billy, using the Holy Ground, he steals away the Merc camp, but he has to use Sync because Pulse Bomb comes out. Tricked now continues to step forward because the top lane is deadly. It's moving in for a keep.
Yeah, Liquid needs the halftime show. That's why they're so aggressive around the Immortal now. But Tricked wins the halftime show. Now Liquid immediately moves to the top lane, since this is the one that is attacking the keep. And this keep is about to fall. They need to be careful here. This wave needs to be taken down fast. It's taken severe damage already, and the core is going to be attacked very soon as well. But Liquid can't deal with all of this. They need to go for the Immortal. If this one falls as well, they're in a world of pain.
They're in a spot where they could lose a game, so they go for a fight. They're trying to hear it. 16-16. Muradin gets focused, and he does fall. Alex Aproji attempting to escape will drop the bunker just to make sure to block out that area and make it hard for Team Liquid to give chase. But Tricked loses a member. Catapults, however, are on their way to the core.
Yeah, they're not doing too much yet. They are getting intercepted by another wave, and the top has by now defended the push. So the keep has not fallen at the top lane, but experience still in favor of Trick. But right now, Liquid has a bit of an advantage, and they're trying to use it. They're trying to win the Immortal. Tracer goes down. Perfect. Staggering deaths against Trick Esports. Liquid, as we said before, they're doing everything they can to come back into this.
Lenara's Poison helping out there. Hanzo and Lenara will go over to the Immortal, and Team Liquid, for the first time in this game, will get their own Immortal to push in the Trick Esport.
They could have... The one thing that I could have maybe seen on the side of Trick, but I feel it's overextending too much. Maybe attempting to sneak someone to the top lane to push it out and then move back, but you don't have a global. And if Liquid catches you, then it's another staggered death that you can't really risk. So I feel with both forts still on the map, Trick is absolutely okay with Team Liquid getting a weak Immortal and defending against it. Look at Blaze on the minimap. He's already moving to the bot lane. He's trying to apply additional pressure to Team Liquid to force them back from the top so that they can muster a full aggressive push with 5 heroes. And he is going to force them back here.
Yep, one of the great things about Blaze is wave clear makes it much easier for those catapults to move in. Team Liquid decides to ignore him. For now, they step up aggressively to make sure no more poke can hop on the Immortal, so they can get a little bit more value out of their Immortal push. They're hoping to open the keep wall. A keep seems a little bit too aggro, but a keep wall is always great.
Yeah, getting the keep would be very ambitious, but if there's an opportunity, they will go for it. The experience gap that evolved earlier has already closed. There's the arrow. They're going in. Alex could go once again for the bunker. So far, not using it. There we have it. Immortal is on the keep, though. If Liquid gets it, that would be a huge step forward for them. But at this point, Divine Shield is out. Silence here as well, as we are seeing them moving in again. But Ramabola is low, and he is down. Muradin is dead. This is an opportunity for Team Liquid.
His jump gets interrupted. Maka goes in, drops down the parting gift of Sanctification. Will be used to negate that, and this keep with one more hit could fall. The poison doesn't seem like it's going to be enough as Trick keeps their keep. But Team Liquid, they are not done. Finally, getting the last hit.
Really well done by Team. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Level 19 versus 18. They did a fantastic job with a very weak Immortal. The Immortal had 5% shields, maybe 10, and they were able to take the fort, and they took the entire keep. They got an additional kill against Ramabola, and even with the pressure that we're seeing against the bot lane, Liquid has all of a sudden taken the lead. They have lost one keep, but they've taken one. They have the lead in experience right now, so this last Immortal phase has changed the entire phase of this game. It's really impressive how they were able to pull it off. The early kill against Muradin, a second kill against Tracer, a staggered death, and then with the weak Immortal, they push very, very heavily. They get a good arrow off. They are able to take the top keep, get even an additional kill, and now we could see the situation completely reversed. Trick might be the one who has to fight against the talent advantage when the next objective comes up.
Trick has to find a way to get a kill if they can in some of these fights. This Team Liquid has been doing a great job of stopping that pulse bomb from being effective, whether it's a Divine Shield or a Sanctification. It's been negated every single time in the last couple of fights. Trick Esports will need to find that angle and find a way to get in. And they have to do it soon, because 20 is right around the corner.
And as we said before, Trick Esports is currently undefeated with Muradin, with Malfurion, with Li Ming, and with Blaze. All 4 of these heroes have not lost once yet. And Tracer is played for the first time by Trick Esports in this game. So this is really one of those drafts, one of those compositions where I think it feels super comfortable. If Liquid is able to shut that down in the first game, after Trick has had such a massive lead, that would be a huge... It would really help with the self-esteem of Team Liquid going forward in the series, and it would definitely be a blow to Trick Esports.
Definitely would be a statement too. Trick moves up. They know they have to put some damage on this Immortal. They have a small window here where they're on even talent tiers against Team Liquid. Team Liquid steps up but doesn't want to force anything too heavily. Allows them to put a little bit of damage there, knowing their 20 is right around the corner.
The situation for Trick has definitely changed a lot more than only them having being behind, because so far their entire composition was not really aggressive in the sense that they got kills. They played a great macro game, and that was the biggest advantage they had. Now they're in a spot where all of a sudden they need to win fights. And that makes it very difficult for them to play the macro game that they had set up before, because they can't just simply play to a talent advantage or a pushing lane. They don't have these advantages anymore. So they are just sitting tight, trying to get the experience up at the top lane to hopefully get 20 themselves and then deal with Liquid. But Liquid has already taken a very comfortable halftime show. They need to send Lunara back because the core is being attacked here. But this is still Liquid being in the lead.
Yeah, it looks like Trick is going to have to just deal with the Immortal. Yeah, they're going to go for the race here. They have to, with the Immortals being in aggressive positions. Team Liquid steps forward with a few members, and they work on their Immortal. Trick actually getting a little bit more done than you were expect here, but they brought all 5 members just to get it there. So it's going to be 11,000 points in shields here for Team Liquid. Good news for Trick. They're about to hit 20, and they still have at least a fort and a keep in the way.
Yeah, Alex is currently at the top lane getting experience for the team, and he also, of course, is very eager to push the lane out so that there's no pressure against their core. We already saw how Lunara was forced back on Team Liquid's side to defend the core as the catapults were starting to really hurt. So they're working on the shields and they're trying to defend here. As you said, there's still a fort. That's a huge advantage for them. Good job by Rema, dodging here. Arrow comes in, and that's a big one.
Luther goes in with the stun, Market's kiting backwards.
Already we have the bunker on the ground, and Tyrael has used his ult as well. Team Liquid using a lot of resources here. Alex on the move back. The silence hitting Sport Billy. Divine Shield saves in. The jet propulsion allows Alex to move away. And Liquid used basically all of their cooldowns here to get a kill, but they haven't gotten it yet. So the defender's advantage that we're seeing for Trick allows them to defend the Immortal without losing the keep.
An explosion of heroics, but all said and done, nobody has fallen. The Immortal has been taken out, and Trick Esport keeps their one keep. One keep apiece for each of these teams. Team Liquid has theirs a little bit lower on the top right side, but still it's standing, so no catapult pressure.
Yeah, the fortified bunker with the oil spill now. That's actually a really cool tool that you have in big team fights, especially if Sanctification is already used. So those are definitely some of the heroics that we have to pay a lot of attention to during the next fights. But yeah, it's definitely... we have a game on our hands. Liquid has a very low keep up at the top, but as long as the wave isn't pushed out, that's not going to become a problem that the keep has already lost this many hit points. 1 kill against 4, and they are 5-manning it at this point. Very, very few splits that we see. Without a global, here comes a 3-man arrow, and the kill against Tracer. Well done.
Tracer gets locked down. Alex is hoping to escape. A Holy Ground's up for Sport Billy. If he can lock in Blaze here, he locks him in. Alex Pro G is by himself, has to turn around and fight a 2-on-1. But it looks like his life is done.
Yeah, he's trying to buy some time here.
Yeah.
He's already moving away, slowing them down as much as he can. Great move by Nurok also, jumping the oil spill, getting away from it, but Alex falls, and now there's only 3 heroes on the map. Liquid, with the vengeance coming back into this game, 6 kills against 1. And very unfortunate also for Marke. We had Nature's Cure immediately utilized after the arrow hits, but the only one that was saved was Li Ming. There was nothing on Tracer, so the stun did not get removed, and that didn't allow Marke to move away. And Liquid, at this point, they want to go for the kill. Sanctification is still there. They have the poison of Lunara. This is going to be difficult to defend.
Rimmer jumps in and get on the back line, wait for the Saint to expire before he drops in the hammers. He finally does, but a Thorn will get in the Army of the Dead. Crosby trying to get a reset on Hostile as Hostile gets away from the fight. The core continues to fall down to 50, down to 40, down to 30. Team Liquid continues to chug forward, and they are going to get this victory over Trick Esport.